And I'm here to, actually I'm an assistant professor in BMS College of Engineering right now. So I'm here to present some analysis on the medical data set with Python. Okay, so and it will be completely hands-on session. So what we are going to do, that Python has many applications in healthcare. Mainly one of them is predictive analytics with the raw data set. Another is a medical image analysis. I mean, let me take a very small example. Suppose you have a chest x-ray and you give it to a machine learning model, and the machine learning model will be able to see that whether it is a normal chest infection, I mean, it's just a cold and cough, or it's a pneumonia, or it's a COVID. Okay, and followed by it has a lot of application in the genomic studies, for example, bioinformatics and all. So today we will start with the simplest of applications, where we have some data set which is not in an image format, which is there in a data format. We'll be downloading it and we'll be analyzing it. So as it's a 2-hour session from 2 to 4 and completely hands-on, I have planned to demonstrate 2 applications, and all of you are supposed to do it. So 2 applications will be one first application that I'll be showing, that is cardiac, or I mean the heart disease prediction using ML, with the Python. Another is the diabetes prediction. Okay, so 2 things we'll be seeing today, and we'll be using 2 machine learning model. One is a logistic regression, another is a SVM, that is support vector machine. Anyway, we'll come to it after some time. So first, all the participants, I'll request you to, I'll share a link with you. 1 second. In the chat section, I'll be sharing a link. 1 second, give me 1 minute time. So I'll share the link. 1 second. Yeah. So I'm pasting the link in the chat section. Okay. So please see if you have received the link or not. Please go to that particular link. Okay, everyone, I request everyone, all the participants, please to open that particular link that I have shared. If you go to that link, you will get, let me open this link here.
Second corner. Second test.
So if you go to this link, you will get all this 4 files you will get.
And the following categories of function with an example arguments, but no return value.
I'll request someone has unmuted. Some voice is coming. Please unmute.
This void function, then program.
Hello. I'm not sure who
I request every participant to
Arsi ma'am, please.
Program.
Chandrika VS.
This is syntax. Where is
Yeah, I hope it's fine now. Okay, so so participants, please just open these 2 files. So if you open these 2 files, we'll be using Google Colab for this. I'll demonstrate all the things, I'll explain everything, but just let me just set up the environment. So what you do, you go to this link and there are 2 CSV files. Kindly download it in your system. These 2 CSV files, one is for the heart disease, other is for the diabetes dataset. I request you to please download this 2 dataset. Okay. Any issues, you can unmute and say me, or you can message. Okay, you can chat. I have opened my chat section also. If there anything you're not being able to access, please let me know. Okay, please download this 2 CSV files, and first you open this particular file which says a heart disease prediction. Other thing is not required as of now. Please open the file heart disease prediction. It will start with this screen should open for you to share project 1. That project 1 is my heart disease prediction. And I request everyone not to edit anything with this. Please go to file, okay, and please do a save a copy in Drive. I request everyone, please don't edit this sheet. Okay, otherwise it will be a problem for everyone. Please don't edit anything in this sheet. Please go to this file option and do a save a copy in your Drive, so that you will be editing in your Drive, and the code will also be there in your Drive for your further use. Am I clear? So please download both the CSV files and open the file called heart disease prediction. It will open in Google Colab for everyone. and then you just don't edit anything in this. Go to file and save a copy in your drive. So participants, can you just message in the chat section as done or something like that, so that I know that it's done, so that I can start explaining what am I supposed to do? Is the environment ready for us?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, done. Okay, very good. Thank you. So, okay. So I'll start then. Yeah, downloaded everyone. So please download both the data sets. Okay, and another two files, there is a Google Colab file. You do not have to download it. You can directly open it in your Google Chrome. I mean, in your drive. Basically, you just save it as I have shown you. Just go to file and save a copy in your Google Drive so that you can edit it there. Okay. Please don't edit the original file. Okay. Now. Okay. Let's start. So first, just one second. Yeah. So first, what we are going to see as an application is a heart disease prediction using ML. So what do I mean by this? So see, once we, what happens if we have a chest pain or some uneasiness if we feel? We immediately go to a cardiac specialist and he or she will ask us to go for a ECG, and ECG will have some data and they will ask us some details of our, say, our age, and they'll test our cholesterol level, they'll test our sugar level and all. And ultimately with all those data, he or she, with their experience, they will be detecting that, do I have any cardiac issue or not? Correct. So in that they will be seeing majorly the cholesterol or the blood sugar, as I have said, and also the majorly they'll be analyzing my ECG pattern. Correct. Now, so what is the ML has to do with it, machine learning, because ultimately it is a knowledge applied to our data. So what we are going to do, we are going to have some already inbuilt data set which has this cardiac data. Okay, cardiac data for both the healthy heart and also for the heart which has some issues. We'll be downloading that particular data set and we'll be training our machine learning model with that data, so that further if any other patient comes and we do not have to be a doctor, we just feed that particular data, say what is the age, what is the sex, what is the blood sugar level and all. Once we enter the data as a data typist only, he or she will be able to say that whether there is a heart issue or not. Okay, so that is what is our goal, that so this is what is our goal. We'll be having our raw data. It is my hard data that we are going to download from somewhere. That how to download, where to download, how to do it, I'll explain you. So first understand, we're going to have some data, and right now I'm not talking about the image data. Okay, tomorrow I'll be explaining with how to analyze when you have an image data. Okay, say a chest X-ray and all. Okay, so right now we have a hard data, and which is all the numerical values or the categorical values. I mean, say A, B, C, D, something like that. Okay, mostly it is directly data, no images here. Now, once you have a binary data, you can't actually go ahead with the machine learning. You have to do some kind of data pre-processing. Okay, now how to do this data pre-processing? I'll just give me 1 minute. So I'll just, it's not giving me an option. Just 1 second. Trying to enable this laser, but it's not giving me an option. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so yeah, so once you have that the data set and you pre-process it, after that what will happen, we are going to, whatever data set we have, we are going to divide that particular data set in two parts. One is a training data set, another is a testing data set. Okay, we'll be using this training data set to build our model. Okay, now once we build our model, that may be accurate up to a certain extent. We know, right, any kind of model evaluation is not 100% successful. So we'll try our best possible way to build the model as much accurate as possible. And after that, we have third one. If you see, we have something as a test. So we'll be evaluating our model with this test data. Okay, so whatever data we have, I'm repeating, whatever data we have, we're going to divide it in two parts. One is a training data set and there is a testing data set. And with the training data set, we are going to build a model, and with the test data set, we are going to test the model. Okay, now how we are going to train this model? We are going to, for this one, as it is a binary classification, I mean binary classification means there can be only two classes, correct? One is a healthy heart, another is a heart with some issues, correct? So it's a binary classification. So for that, we're going to use a simple machine learning model that is called the logistic regression model, which will give me some curve like this, is kind of a curve like this, and which will give me a binary classification. I'll come to this model after some time as well. So we'll be training it with a logistic regression model. Okay, now once we have our model ready and we have evaluated it on our testing data set, what we are going to do, we are going to feed it with a new data. In the last one, if you can see, we can, yes, now the pointer is enabled. So we can, so this is our trained model. And once we have our trained model with the logistic regression model, we can feed a new data, and that new data, analyzing the new data model should be able to tell me whether it's a healthy heart or this is a heart with kind of any kind of heart disease. So that is what is my goal. So now, so coming to this, what we are going to do, you can go to Google Chrome and search for cardiac dataset Kaggle. Okay, you can search. Kaggle is a big source. I hope everyone knows Kaggle is a big data source of all the publicly available datasets. So you can search in a Kaggle for the cardiac data. So right now I have used this dataset. That is, you can download the second link if I have seen. By the way, my entire screen is visible to everyone, right? If my screen is not visible, please let me know.
It's visible, madam.
Yeah, so you can go to this heart disease data set. So now let me see that what is there in this particular heart disease data set. Totally, we have 13 factors. Okay, what are the 13 factors? We have age, sex, there is chest pain value, and it is having 4 values. It says that it has 4 types of values. Then our blood sugar, cholesterol level, then fasting glucose level, followed by these are all the factors which comes from your ECG. Okay, so if I'm sharing this, so if you see this graph, so this is kind of a graph we get when we go to a medical practitioner and they suggest us to go ahead with an ECG, correct? So this is your P, Q, ST, T, R, and all those values. So all those values are recorded here. If you see, this is your ST and all those values are recorded here. So this data set has recorded all my biological history. I mean, my problem, what is chest when I have, what is my age, blood sugar, and all those stuff, followed by my data with respect to my ECG. Okay, so this is a data set. So this is my attribute information. Apart from this attribute, you have one more attribute, that is my ultimate analysis attribute. That is my 14th attribute, and that will be my 0 or 1, where 0 is going to be your healthy heart and 1 is going to be your heart with some kind of defect. So what you can do, everyone, you can download this data set. Okay, or else for the simplicity, I have already downloaded and given it, and it is available to you in this file that I have suggested you to download. This is my heart underscore disease underscore data. It is the same CSV file. Okay, you can download from Kaggle, or else you can download from here, doesn't matter. Okay, so okay, so once you have this data set, now what we can do, the getting the data set is clear for everyone, I hope. So now let me go ahead and start the actual analysis. Okay, now, so I'd request everyone not to execute the code now. Let me explain now 4-5 steps. Also, entire code with the documentation is given to you so that you can use it afterwards also for your references. But I'd request no one to execute it right now. After, let me explain 4-5 steps, and I'll give you time to execute so that you can come up with whatever doubts you have. Okay, just listen to me for some time. So okay, so first, whenever you have whenever you're supposed to do any kind of analysis, you are supposed to import a library, correct? Library or the dependency, that is same as you C, C++, Java, any program. First step is importing the library. So what are the things we are going to import here? Okay, by the way, let me just explain this environment I forgot to explain. So this is your Google Colab environment. That is a standard environment for coding your machine learning or deep learning. So how you are supposed to go, I just told you directly go like this, or else what you can do, you can go to your Google. Let me just show this environment once. And then you type as Google Colab. Okay, so it will give you welcome to Core Library. You go there. you open this, it is showing me all the things that I have coded already. You can start a new notebook as well. If you can start a new notebook, I'm starting a new notebook for your reference. So this is my new text, new new environment, new Google Colab sheet I have opened. So first, what you should do once you open this, you should click on this connect. Can you see this right hand side? I have this, I'm highlighting this area, connect. You should click on connect so that it connects to the runtime environment. Otherwise, it won't execute. Okay. The first step is I'm just doing the connect. Okay. So can you see? So it is telling me allocating, now disconnecting. Okay, let's connect. It's still connecting. And it's initializing. Yeah, now it's showing you connected. So it is showing you on the Google server, the RAM allocation, disk allocation, and all those virtual machine. It is showing me. Yeah. So this is now. So I know that now my Colab environment it is set for doing the work. So what you can do, I'll just for your reference, I'm just copying pasting. So let me just copy paste this one. Okay, so what you can do, you can add a code or you can add a text. Text is for your references. I mean, the documentation purpose, you can add the text also. Okay, so let me add a code here. So I'm adding a code. I'm just copying pasting or something. I'll just explain anyway. So this is whatever I have copied pasted. So once you have a code, how to execute it, you go to the end and you press shift enter. Okay, this is a code, this is a code cell, correct? This one code cell. Just if you want to execute the code cell, you just press shift enter. Okay, see, I'm pressing the shift enter, it is showing me it is executing. Yeah, once it is executed, it will show you right symbol. Can you see this right symbol at the green symbol at the left hand corner? So it says that now this particular code has been executed. If you want to re-execute it, you can either press the control letter or you can press this play symbol as well. Yeah, anything is fine. Either you can press shift enter together or else you can press here. I hope up to this is clear for everyone. All of you can take 1 minute to create a new Colab sheet and just write a simple line. Just write this particular line. I'll explain all the lines, don't worry. Just write this particular line, just only one line. Import numpy as np. Just type this line and just let me remove everything for a sec. I've removed everything. Just type this one and check it out whether you are being able to execute. Either press this one or just execute that. Just shift enter. Okay, and you should be able to get a green symbol at the left hand side. I request everyone to do this much. Make it letters big, ma'am. Okay, sorry. Extremely sorry. I'll just try to do this. 1 second. Let me see what I should do for this. Sorry, sir, I did not see it. So I guess Ram Babu Kusuma. So, sir, is it visible now? Or other participants can also reply. Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yes. So any issues, please let me know. Once I'm executing, I won't be able to check it out all this in the chat. Yeah, so fine. Okay, so I hope this much environment setup is done for everyone. Now let me start doing the actual coding. Yeah, so anyone facing any issue with the setting up the Google Colab environment, let me know. I hope it's done as of now, no doubts. Okay, now I'm just closing this windows because already these things I have done already now. Yeah. Okay. So now, sorry. So first thing, what you should do, I'm starting the actual coding portion now. So I hope everyone would have opened this site. So what you should do now, you click on this file symbol. Okay, I think all of you can see there's a files folder symbol here. Okay, click on this file symbol here. So initially you will not have this hard disk data. correct? Hard disk is data. I asked you to download it from the Google Drive. So what you can do, click on the right click on this and click on upload and choose wherever you have this hard disk data. I'm not doing this step again, but all of you are supposed to do. I'm repeating this step. Before you start any kind of analysis, first thing that you should do, you should upload your data set that you have downloaded right now. Yes. So what you should do, please go click on this file symbol and right click and select the option upload, or else you can under the files also you have this upload symbol and upload the file that is hard disk data. Whatever data set you have downloaded, kindly upload that one. Okay. Now let me explain the coding now. Yes. So let me start with importing the library. First library that we are going to need, that is my NumPy. NumPy is useful once you need to do something with the array processing. Okay, here we will do a lot of things with the array processing. That is why I'm going to use this particular library, that is NumPy. Okay, followed by this is called, we are going to use pandas library, and I guess everyone knows about this pandas library because it is so popular for the data analysis nowadays. So it so what is the advantage for this? There it is. Once we download this data, if you see that the data is in the CSV format. CSV is nothing but comma separated values, correct? So with the machine learning, you can't directly feed in that comma separated values. What you have to do, you have to load that particular data as a data frame in some kind of a tool, if I have to say. In a data frame, normal terminology, it is called a data frame, which is useful or as an input to the machine learning model. Okay, so this pandas library is useful so that you can load the data in a format which is suitable for machine learning applications. Okay, followed by there is something sklearn library. From the sklearn, you're going to import only the model selection. From the model selection, you're going to import the train test split. What is the use of it? If you remember initial slide that I have explained, once I have the data set, what I'm going to do, I'm going to feed it in my model. But when you are creating the model, you are not going to fit the entire data set. The entire data set, I'm going to divide it in two parts. One is my training data, and that is my testing data, correct? So this library, this train test split will be useful to divide the entire data set in two parts. That is my training data set, and that is my testing data set. Correct. Followed by, you have to import the model, the machine learning model that you want to use here. As I have said, there's a binary classification. I'm going to use a model called logistic regression. How it is, I'll come to that. Okay. So I'm going to use a model called logistic regression. Now, after you have a logistic regression, you are going to calculate the accuracy. I mean, you have built the model, then you are supposed to calculate the accuracy on the testing data set, correct? You have built it with the training data set. Now you have to calculate accuracy. For that, you are going to use the accuracy score. Okay. So remember, what are the five things I'm going to import here? One is the NumPy library, which is going to be useful for the array processing, followed by the pandas for the data frame. Third one is a train test split, followed by the logistic regression, that is a machine learning model, followed by the accuracy score, which would be useful for our validation purpose. Okay, now after you are done, please click here, and you can okay, please don't do it now. I'll just show you 4 or 5 steps, and then you can do. So click on this. I'm clicking on this shift enter, which is executing this lab, and now you can see that it's right symbol, means I'm done this importing the dependency. So library, whatever library I need, that's imported. Now what you have to do, now I have the libraries done and I have the data set in the CSV format. But I told that in the CSV format, you can't actually go into the machine learning applications. So what you have to do, you have to load the data in a format, in a data frame format, which is suitable for the machine learning applications. So for that, what I'm going to do, PD, what is this PD? PD is pandas. Pandas you have imported as PDs, correct? If you highlight, if you just hover your mouse on it, it will show you. Okay, this is this PD dot read CSV. So you are reading this particular CSV file and you are loading it in a data frame, that is my hard data. Okay, so this data, this pandas data frame will be my hard data, and whatever I have to do, I'm going to use a CSV file. I'm going to execute everything with a hard data frame. Okay, so as of now, I'm done with my, so let me just click on this. Yes, I've executed it, and it's showing me the the green symbol means it is executed properly. If you have not forgotten to upload the data file to give you all the errors in color. Okay, you should be able to then go and check the file is proper or not and all the stuff. Okay, now once you have the data, you may need to just see it, that what is the data all about, what are the fields I have, what are the different attributes are there. So for that, you may try what we are doing. We are printing the first 5 rows. Okay, so let me print the first 5 rows. So here I'm printing the first 5 rows. If you see here, one second. Yeah. Sorry. So here we are printing the first 5 rows, and if you see what, let me scroll here, you see here what are the fields I have, what are the attribute I have. I have all the attributes starting from age, sex, this is my CP level, this is my cholesterol, fasting blood sugar and all those stuff, followed by the last one. Yeah, so all those values I have here, followed by the slope, exangle, peak, and all those things, correct? So now, so this is the first 5 rows. Similarly, you may need to print the last 5 rows. So for the first 5 rows printing, we have the option as head command. To print the last 5 rows, we have the command as a tail command. So heart data dot tail. So let me just come and see it. Yes, so this is the last 5 rows. If you can see here, this is the last 5 rows we have. Okay, just let me just zoom down a little bit. Yeah, so now I think entire data set is visible. So let me know if it is not, this font is very much difficult for you people to read it. So now right now you can see the entire data set here with all the 13 attributes. These all starting from your age to ATHAL. This is your ultimate attribute or the features that we are going to use as input. Followed by the last one is your target variable. Okay, this target variable can be either 0 or 1. Okay, now what that is, if you see here, here the target is 1 and here down the target is 0, and this target variable 1 means it is an unhealthy heart or it is a heart with the heart disease, and 0 means it is a heart, it's a healthy heart. Okay, so ultimately we are going to we are going to feed all this data to our machine learning model after dividing it in 2 parts, that is training and the testing, and you should be able to predict for the future data. Okay, so as of now, what I did the steps as first I imported the library function, followed by I uploaded the data and I loaded the data as a pandas data frame, followed by you wanted to check what is there in the data set at all. So I printed the first 5 rows with the head function and the last 5 rows with the tail function. Okay, followed by what I'm going to do, I'm going to print the command as hard data dot shape. This is a command I'm going to use. Remember, this shape doesn't have a parenthesis because shape is not a function. Shape will return a tuple for you. What it will give you, it will give you the number of rows and the number of columns. So what does it say? It says that this is in this entire data set, it has a 303 rows. I mean, it has a data of 303 patients, and for each one of the 303 people, we have recorded the values of 14 attributes. Yes, so this is the 14 out of this 14 attribute, the 13 attribute is your input variables, and the last one is your target value, that is that is a heart or not. Just one second. Yeah, sorry for the interruption. So I'd request all the participants, please complete up to this first 5 steps. We'll take frequent breaks so that all of you are doing everything. So importing the dependency, upload the data file, followed by upload it as load it as a data frame, followed by print the first 5 rows and the last 5 rows, followed by execute the command data.shape, which will give you the number of rows and the number of columns up to this. I'll go to open the chat section. Please everyone check up to this. It is working for everyone or not. So you should be able to see that you have 303 rows data set, and for which will have the 14 for 14 attributes will be there. Send link. So sir, I have shared a link here in the chat section. I think you are not there. I'll just share this link again. Upload. Please, I'll just put the link once again. So sir, please go to this particular link. Okay, in this link you will see the data file is also there, sir, and the data set is also there, followed by your the code is also there. Please, I request everyone, please don't edit that code. You can copy it. Okay, so what else? I'll again show you. Go to this, or it will open this file for you. Please click on this file and click on the save a copy in your drive. Okay, it will load a local copy for you, and which you can execute. Okay, please save a new copy and go to this file option, and upload the data CSV file. Okay, followed by you start executing. I'll wait for everyone to finish up to this step, and once done, please message that as done, please, so that I can go ahead and do the next things. Some warning messages showing. So everyone being able to download the data. Someone has messaged there is some issue. All of you are able to download the data. Please, sir, ma'am, please respond. Otherwise, it is difficult. It's an online workshop. So
yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. So please, everyone, just finish the 5 steps. First 5 steps. I'll again share the screen. Yeah. So please finish up to the 5 steps, and you should be able to see that you have a data set with 303 patient data, and each one of them will have 14 attributes. Out of this 14 attributes, the first 13 are your actual input data. Okay, input different factors, and the last one is your actual level. When that or that column is target. If I'll show this tail here. So this, out of this 40, these are my 14 columns. The first 13 columns are the attribute, the deciding attribute, and let me say in the formal term, this first 13 are your independent variables, and the last one is your 14th one is your target variable, that is a dependent variable that I'm going to compute and predict. So I'd request everyone to please please do this up to this and let me know it's done, or any issues you can share. Okay, so a lot of people have said, is it done? I just wait for Rambabu Kusuma. You can it should open, because it is opening. It will show you some warning, but after that you can click on this. It will open. Okay, done. No, it's open. Yeah, done. Okay, so I think a lot of people have said it's done. So let me move. If anyone wants me to wait, please message us wait, and I'll wait, or else I'll move. Okay, fine. No, nothing. So let me. Okay. So as of now, we have checked that what is the data I have. Up to this, we are done. Hard data.shape. Now, once you have the data, let me execute a function on that particular data set .info, and let me see that what information it is going to give me. Let me execute this one. So what it is telling me, if you see here, it is telling me the information about the entire data set. What it is telling me? It is telling me that from 0th index to the 13th index, I mean all the 14 column, what are the columns I have? And in that column, what is the D type is nothing but a data type. Okay, so you should be, this is called the data pre-processing or exploratory data analysis, where you should, before you start analyzing the data, you should be able to understand that what is the actual data you have, how is the data, it is an integer data, or it's a floating point data, or it's a categorical data, which is, I mean, the categorical means it is given as the levels as A or B. So right now what we are going to see here, out of this 14, everything is my integer data, and only this old peak is a floating point number. Okay, now this first column is a column name, third column is data type. What the second column is very, very important. It says that null values. What do I mean by this? So this null values will be there in many data set which will have the missing values. Missing null values are missing values. I mean, say for a particular patient, the cholesterol level is not known, so that field is kept blank. Okay, so right now, so it is telling me that all these 303 rows. So if you see here, how to predict it. So then before I have executed this shape command, right? And it has told me how many rows I have. I have 303 rows, correct? So out of 303 rows, if you can see here, all these 303 are my non-null values. So it is telling me in my entire data set, I don't have any null values or any missing values. But trust me, it is not going to be the case every time. For this data set, I have taken a small data set for the explanation, so it doesn't have any null values, but in many cases it will have the null values or the missing values that you either have to remove it or replace it with the mean value. That will come to it afterwards. So as of now, in this data set, there is no problem. It doesn't have any null values, so I can have a sneak peek, or I can have a complete picture of the data set with the command info, the data frame name dot info. It will give you a complete information about that particular data set. Right now, if you want to know some statistical information about this data, then you're going to, okay, by the way, let me just explain this one first. So as of now, I told you that there is no null value or no missing values. How did I say it? I said it manually, that okay, see, this is how many entries I have, how many I have totally entries as 303, and here also the number of values is 303. So I know all of these two are matching, so all the data is present, correct? But the formally, what you should do, if you see that this value is less than all, so now how you have to know how many missing values I have or how many null values I have. In that case, you are supposed to use this command, hard data, that is your data frame name, followed by is null command. I mean, you're going to check that whether a particular value is null or not, followed by the sum. So it will check and return you the number of missing values for a particular attribute. So let me execute it. It should give you all zeros now. So right now it is showing you for all the attributes, say starting from your age to target, everything is 0, 0, 0, 0, because your data set doesn't have any null value. Suppose you're in this age data group, if there are 5 values that are missing, it will show you age 5. So you will understand that yes, I have five values which is missing, so I have to do something with it. Either I have to eliminate that, or I have to replace it with some mean value, right? So I know that there is no missing value. Now, followed by, if you want to have some statistical information about this particular data, then you have to execute the command called describe. Okay, what we are going to do, execute this command, and I'll show you the output, and I'll explain that what do I mean by the statistical information. So this describe command gives you all the statistical information about each and every column. Yes, so what are the columns I had? I had the columns at age, sex, CP, cholesterol, and all. So if you see, these are all the statistical information. So you know that what is the minimum value in this particular column, what is the maximum value. So I know that whatever patient data I have recorded in my system, it starts from 29 and it ends at 77, correct? So I have the data in the range of people from 29 years old to 77 years old. So I don't have a very too young age people data or too old age people data, correct? So similarly, you can see the cholesterol data and all those stuff, correct? So for every data, this will give you a statistical information about that, how your data is distributed. This is actually one more uses also is there for the outlier detection. We'll come to it afterwards. Okay, how to detect that this data doesn't have much outlier, but how to, after this, you execute this command describe and you see the statistical information, you should be able to understand, is there any outlier? We'll come to that later stage. Followed by, I'm executing the command hard data, and I'm checking the variable target, attribute target. By the way, I hope all of you remember what is target attribute. What is the target attribute? Let me go back and check it. This target is what I want to predict. This is once this is the value, it is going to be either 0 or 1. 1 means this is a problematic heart with it's a heart disease, and 1 means 0 means it's a healthy heart. So right now, let me execute this command, and this value counts is a pandas function. So it is showing me 1 as 165 and 0 as 138. I mean, in this total data set of 303 rows or 303 patient data, I have defective heart of how many data I have? 165, and 0 I have 138. Okay, I mean the healthy heart is of 10, healthy heart is of 138 healthy heart data I have, whereas 165 defective heart data I have. Okay, so you can see these two values are not too far among each other. 165 and 138 is close by. So I know that it is not a class imbalance. What do I mean by class imbalance? Suppose if you see that 1, I mean, which is a defective heart, that value is 500. Okay, I'm repeating. If you see that 1, which is the defective heart, you have the value as 500. 0, which is a healthy heart, you have the value as 50. You can understand the situation. So then in your data set, you have recorded 500 defective heart data, whereas healthy heart data you have only for 50 patients. So in that case, with that data set, is a highly biased data. If you want to do some analysis on the data set, you are going to get a biased result. It is not a proper data set for to go ahead with the application. But if you, so this is a very important step to see that whether you have a class imbalance problem or not. Right now, these two are not too far among each other. So I know that no, there is no class imbalance. If there is a class imbalance like this, one is 500 and another is 50, then in that case, you have to do something with it. You can't directly go ahead with a machine learning. It will give you the wrong result. Okay, so I request you please finish it up to this. So what are the steps we did after the last time? So last time after this you did this shape command. So now I want you to execute this info command. See that whether you are getting the information about all the columns or not. Followed by please execute and check that whether you have any null values or not. It will give you all 0 because you don't have any null value. Followed by you execute the command describe, which will give you the statistical information. Followed by you execute this target and value count and see that whether you are getting the same data as like 165 of your defective heart and say 138 of your healthy heart. So up to this I have discussed how to load the libraries, followed by how to upload the data set and load it as a pandas data frame, followed by how to have a look at the data set with the head and tail command, followed by how to know what are the data type I have, what are the columns I have, followed by how to do a statistical analysis. I mean, those are the mean, max, and all those stuff. And right now I'm checking for the class imbalance issues. So up to this, we are done. I request everyone to please go ahead and finish up to this step. I request everyone to please do up to the steps and let me know. So someone's telling me to show code. Someone wants to type. I think it is not opening for them. So I'm just showing the code anyway. I'll just open it. This is I started with info and this was. If you're typing, it's a very, let's go to type heart_data.info, followed by, which will give you the data type and all, followed by heart_data.isnull.sum, followed by heart data describe, and then heart data, and at the target attribute you are checking, and you are going ahead with the value counts. I request everyone to finish this up to this, and please message us done on any issues. You can be, participants can be interactive as well. I'll request so that I get some inputs from you also, that you want me to do something else, or what is your expectation in the next 3 days, because next 3 days also afternoon I'll be going ahead with the hands-on session. So if you want me to do something else, so you can suggest as well. So after this, once done, please message. People are facing any issue? Rambabu Kusuma, you're being able to follow. You can follow the code. Yes, fine. For the other people, is it done? Should I wait? Okay, no problem. Fine. Done. Okay. So as of now, we have checked for the class imbalance issues, and we have seen in our data right now we don't have any class imbalance issues. So this is up to this. We are done for our data pre-processing step, or we did the exploratory data analysis, that is called EDA, where we try to see that what is my data all about. Okay, what is the situation of my data? Now, followed by, so what is the next step? If I go back to the diagram, if this is the diagram I've shown once I started, correct? So I said that first we are supposed to load our our data. That is done. Then we want to do some data pre-processing. Here, not much data pre-processing was actually required, because you did not have any null value and all those stuff, and there is neither the class imbalance issue. So we just checked in the data pre-processing step that whether we have any issues that has to be dealt with. Now, what is my next step? Next step says that I have to divide the data in two parts. That is my training data set and the testing data set. Followed by, I have to build the logistic regression model with it. Followed by, I have to check it for the new data. So what we should do now? So now, so coming to this portion where I'm supposed to split the features and the target variables. So what I'm going to do, so right now, as if you remember, if you see the data, I'll go back and up once. So this initial 13 columns will be used as my independent variable as my input, and the last one is my output column, correct? That is my target, that is either 0 or 1, correct? This is what I am supposed to predict with the information of the initial 30 columns. So what I have to do in that case, before going ahead with the training and testing, what we are going to do, from the entire data set, our entire data set is my hard data, correct? I'm removing the column that is my target. Okay, that is I'm supposed to predict. Okay, so removing the column means you're supposed to execute the function drop, and here you should see as axis equal to 1. So remember, this axis is equal to 1 is going to be useful if you want to drop a column. If you write axis equal to 0, then it will remove a row from the data set. Right now I want to remove a column, that is my target column, so I have given as axis equal to 1. Okay, so right now this, in that case, X will hold your input data. This X will hold your input data with all initial 13 columns. What will be there in the Y will be your output data, that is only in my target column, which will have only the set of zeros and ones. Okay, so let me execute this code. Yes, it has executed, and now let me see that what is there in the X and Y. Let me print it. If I print it, So now you can see in the X data set, I have all the initial 13 parameters, but I don't have the target value as 0 and 1. Can you see the 14th one or the target column is missing here, and where the target column has gone, the target column will be there in the Y. So let me print this one. Yes, you can see this Y will have all the data for all the data rows starting from the 0th data row to the 302 data row, and that totally there will be 303 data rows, and the values are going to be in the range of 1 or 0. Okay, so this is so I have divided the data set in the input and output. Now for everything I have to divide the data set in two parts. Now that is my training and testing. So what I have done here, for that we're going to use the library function that is called train test split. Train test split. How am I supposed to use it? What will be my output? X, that is my input data set, will be divided in two parts. One is X train, another is X test. What is my training and testing? I'm repeating. Training the data set will be used to build a model, and test data set will be used to evaluate the model. Okay, so now this X train and X test will come from this X. Okay, I hope all of you remember what is this X and Y. This is what is my X with the entire data set with the first 13 columns, and Y is my output column. Only one column is there. I'm dividing both X and Y. And what is the split I have done? I have given us test size equal to 0.2. I mean 20%. So whatever data you have, that will go 80% as to train the model, and test for the testing only the 20% will come. Okay, so this X will be divided in two parts, and similarly Y will also be divided in two parts. Okay, now there is a random function that is called random state equal to 2. There is nothing that you have to specify 2. You can specify any other randomized number also, 3, 4, whatever you want. It is given here as 2, so that every time you execute, you also get the similar result as I have got. Okay, otherwise you can execute anything else also. So right now what we have done here, we have divided the data set in two parts, training and testing, whereas training data will have 80% of the data, and the testing data will have 20% of the data. Okay, and that has been done for both the input and the output. This is my X and Y. So let me execute it. Okay, I have executed it, and let me print the X dot shape and the shape. So what this shape will give you? Shape will give you, if you remember, it will give you the number of rows and the columns. So let me see that have I been able to divide it properly in the 80% and the 20%. So if I print it, yes, you can see X. The original data had 303 rows with 13 columns. Now after I have divided that X in two parts. One is a train, another is a test. You see this, I have 242 as a training samples and the 61 as a testing sample. Correct. Now, so my division into training and testing is done. So now my last work, what I have to do, I have to build a model with a logistic regression. Now, though this machine learning entire details how to build a logistic regression is out of the purview of this workshop, let me just tell you that what it will give you. It will give you kind of a curve. It is very useful once you have a simple classification where you have to classify in a binary classification. The output has only two classes. If you see here, can you see it is labeled with two different colors and two different symbols. So one is classified as this, another is classified as this. Okay, this is I hope all of you can understand. This is a divider. This line is my divider. So whatever is this divided and left side of it will be one class, another will be another class. There is an example with how to go ahead with the logistic regression, which gives you a S kind of a curve and a divider line here. Yes, which is intersecting this S curve at the 0.5 line. Okay, now so how am I supposed to use this logistic regression here? Yeah. So to use a logistic regression model, first thing that you have to do, you have to load the logistic regression model. So for that, you should write model equal to logistic regression. Let me execute it. So I have now my logistic regression model is loaded, but now this logistic regression is not added or not composed with the X Y train and all the stuff, correct? So to connect this to what I have to do, you have to execute the model.fit. So this is actually your ultimate objective, that you are supposed to train your machine learning model with with the data set, correct? So for the data set, I'm going to use the X train and Y train. I'm not going to use a testing portion, correct? Because testing portion will be used for the validity checking or the accuracy checking. So you execute this command model.fit. What is this model? Model is my logistic regression, correct? So I'm using this logistic regression and model.fit. I'm fitting for this data. That is my data set. That is my X train and Y train. X train and Y train is a 20% of the entire data. So let me execute it. Yes, it is telling you it's done. Now, so I have built the model, correct? So it's telling you have built the model. So I know it is correct or not, how much accurate it is. So for that, what you have to do, you have to evaluate the accuracy score. Now, this accuracy score you can evaluate in two datasets. Once you can try checking it in the training dataset. You have fed the training dataset and you have built the model, correct? Now let me check it in the training dataset only how much it is correct. Then I'll go for it and check it in the testing dataset how much it is correct. So what I'm going to do for this training dataset checking. So what is this training dataset? If you remember, my training dataset is this one, which I have used. And one is my X train and another is my Y train. Okay. So this X train is the training dataset input data with the 13 columns. Y train is the original data which has a 0 and 1 value. That is my indicating my heart has the disease or not. This is the original dataset what you had. Now, if you want to check the accuracy score, then what you have to do? First, you have to check for this X train data, whatever 13 columns you have, what it is predicting. This model is predicting what? To check it, what I have to do, there is some another variable we have taken that is called X train prediction. Okay, so what I am checking is for your X train, that is the 13 input data, what is your model predicting? Remember, this is not same as your Y train. Y train is your original data. Y train is the original set of 1 and 0, which is telling you the actual condition of the patient. Okay. Now X train predicted will give you the output of the model. Okay. So this will be another series of 0 and 1, which will say that what the model will predict, whether it is a diseased heart or it's a healthy heart. Now what I have to do, I have to check after I get this prediction, I have to check whether this X train prediction is matching with the original condition. Where is my original condition? Original condition is captured in the Y train. So remember what you have to do now. So you have to match this two. One is my what is my predicted value and what is my original value. And for that we have the function as accuracy score, which will give you the accuracy for that particular model. Let me execute it and see it. So I have executed it and the accuracy is captured in the variable that is my training data accuracy. Let me execute it and print the accuracy. So right now, if I execute it, it is telling me the accuracy on the training data set is 85%. This simple, with this particular simple model, we have done nothing. We have just simply loaded the model and try to classify. So it is telling me that I have the at 85% accuracy on the training data set. But now let me go ahead and check it out how it is performing in my testing data set. That is my 20% of the unknown data that my model has not seen at all. So for that, what you have to do, you have to execute, instead of using the training data set, you have to execute the test. Correct. So right now, instead of executing the X train, I'm applying the model on the X test. Correct. And I'm checking the same accuracy score. Okay, Y test and Y X test prediction. So let me check it off and it is executed and let me print it. So accuracy on the test data is coming as 81%. I hope it is quite intuitive also. This trade in the test training data is already shown to the model. So here the accuracy is a little bit higher, that is my 81%. But for any future unknown data, which is not shown to the model at all, it is showing that can correctly predict the output with the 81% of accuracy. Okay, so up to this, whatever I have done, I'll just show it again where we stopped. So I'll just tell you again and then you can finish it off. So what we did as of now, we have started splitting the data set in two parts. We have split the data set in the training and the testing data, and where the training data set was 80% and the testing data set was at 20%, followed by with the checked whether this division is proper or not, followed by we have loaded the model, that is my logistic regression, and we have fitted the model with my X train and the Y train. Okay, the training data set I have applied and fitted and created my my required model with a logistic regression function, followed by a try to check my model evaluation with respect to two data. One is the X trend, that is my known data. Other is my unknown data, that is my testing data set. And I have got the output as that with the known data set, it is predicting with the 85% accuracy, whereas with the unknown data set, it is predicting with the 81% accuracy. Okay, so now the last step I'll show you. So ultimately, this is my whatever we have done. We have downloaded our data set and we have divided it in two parts and calculated it, correct? Now, what is my ultimate goal? My ultimate goal is to build a predictive system which will give you the ultimate output. You feed in the value of initial 13 columns and it will show you that it is a healthy heart or not. Okay, so for that, what I want to do, let me open this file. You can also try opening the file, this heart disease prediction. Let me just go to my desktop and open this file. Okay, I think it will not be open to you because I have shared this Google Chrome only. Okay, let me go ahead and open this here only. Yeah. So I'm just, I hope this rows are visible to you. So what you can do, like this, you can copy any value. Okay, so let me copy a value from, I have copied already, I've done it. I'll just show you the values here. So let me go to the row. I think I've copied it from 169 row. You can copy it for any value. Okay, so I'm just highlighting the row from where I have copied. So this is 169 row, which is a comma separated value as 6200. So if it just says that 62 is the age of that particular patient, and then followed by all the other parameter. And what if I go to the last row, last column, it is showing you as my 0. 0 means it is a healthy heart, correct? So what I want to do, I want to fit in this particular data. Okay, and it can be anything else also. And I want to check that whether it is giving you the 0 or not. Basically, I want to build a predictive system. So let me try doing that one here. So now I'm just feeding that particular data. So you can try copying it from the 169 row, or you can copy it from any row and validate it. So I have copied it from the row number 169. Okay, so this is the 13 input value of the 13 columns. Okay, so this is the input data. What I want to do, I want to classify it with the model that I have built. Okay, so this, if you remember, you can't, this is a comma separated values, correct? But you can't apply the machine learning model on the comma separated value. For that, you need something called a data frame. How to go ahead and get the data frame? You have to apply the numpy. So for that, np dot is array followed by input data. Okay, so this is your input data that has it's a linear combination of 13 values. So you are applying the np.isArray. So it will give you a data frame. The output is a data frame that is suitable to be fed in a machine learning application. It's a data frame. So whatever you're getting as output, that is my data frame. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm not going to use this directly as an input to the model. My model, that whatever I have built as of now, that knows that I have the data size of 303 or the data size of training data set. Let me check what is the training data set I had. Yeah, so it knows our X shape was of, sorry, X train shape was of 242, correct? So it knows that the data will be of 242. That is a shape already I have given for the training the model. Now, for the prediction, I don't have 242 data set, correct? I have just only one row. And for this, I want the model to predict the output. So what you are going to do, you are going to mention as a reshape. You're going to say that reshape as 1. The second one is not required. The first one is 1. It says that I have only one row for which I want the output to be done. Okay, if you do not do this reshaping and does not say that it has to be done for only one row, it will give you wrong output. Okay, so this reshaping is very important depending on how many data row you have. Right now you have only one data row, so it is equal to 1. Okay, so right now your data pre-processing is over. Now you want it to be predict. So before I have used the function train, now for the prediction I'm going to use the function predict. So model.predict on what I want to predict. Model is my logistic regression model that I have created. This model should predict on what? This model should predict on this particular data. This is the data I have copied, and this is this one, reshaped data. Okay, and let me check what is the prediction. If you remember what I want it to give me 0, correct? So this is the 169 row, and ultimately this is showing me as a healthy heart. So let me see that after creation of the model, whether it is predicting correctly or wrong. So this one. Just give me 1 second. It's showing it is not giving me that. Yeah. So it is showing me. Yeah. Let me execute the last this one. Let me see what it is predicting. Yeah. So it is showing you print prediction. So it is showing you 0. 0 means it is a healthy heart. Yes, that is what I wanted it to print. Again, I'm executing it again. It is showing you ultimately as 0. You may give a fancy output to say that, okay, like give 0 or 1, something like that. You can just change it to just show that, okay, if it is equal to 0, then it is a healthy heart or whatever you want to print. So there is 0 means I want to say that it's a healthy heart. So as of now, let me repeat what we have done after the last discussion. We have divided it in the training and testing data set. Then we have built the model. Then we have checked the accuracy in the training data set, followed by we have checked the accuracy in the testing data set, and followed by we have built a prediction system. So you can try playing with this data a bit. You can change these values a little bit. Whatever values comes to your mind, you can give in this particular range, and you can check that whether this model is giving you the correct data or not. Okay, so this is the end of the heart disease prediction, which says that given any data set, whichever data set I have, how you can pre-process the data and you can load it in your environment, and followed by how you can check it, the accuracy, and you can do the prediction on a new data. So let me open the chat section now. I'd request everyone to do it. Ma'am, is it yes or no? Which one? I'm the function names. Yes, function names will be case sensitive. Okay, so someone has messaged that whether I'm going to use MATLAB. No, sir, I'm not going to use MATLAB. I think other speakers will be using MATLAB. I'll go ahead and do it with the Python. It is case sensitive, yes. So I'd request everyone to finish it, and any step, if you are not being able to follow, anything is not working, or you are having any difficulty, to please let me know. Please execute, everyone. Until and unless you execute, you won't understand. So is the way how we have downloaded the data set, how we have used it for the heart disease prediction is clear to everyone? It's a very simple application where we did not do much of the data pre-processing. We just downloaded it, checked what is the status of the data. We saw that there is no class imbalance and there is no much issues with the null values and all. And we have gone ahead and fed the data as a training data set and the testing data set. We checked the accuracy, and we have got the correct result as well. And it showed you that for the unknown data, it will give you the 81% of the time I can expect to give me the correct result. So I'd request everyone to please go ahead and execute it, and please confirm that whether all the code is working or any doubt you have at any particular step. Should I repeat any particular step? Otherwise, I have to move to the next prediction. That is my diabetes prediction, which will be the which will be a revision for this, I should say, which will be the similar code only. But here I have not done anything with the data pre-processing. There I'll be doing one portion that is called the feature scaling. Okay. So we'll just slowly move so that you understand each and every step. And tomorrow we'll start with the data visualization and all. and we'll be doing on the breast cancer data. I request everyone to please be interactive and check it whether the things are working or not, or if you have any other suggestions, you're welcome in that way also. So is it executing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'll wait for 2 more minutes and then I'll start. For everyone, I'll just give, if anyone wants me to wait, please let me know. I request, because the code is given, it is very easy to make it execute, because you'll just click on it and execute. Please check that you're understanding each and every function or not, why it is used, how it is used, all the parameters. Please ask if there is something which is not clear. So wait for last 1 minute and start with the next one. Okay, so if there is no more doubt, I'll just go ahead and start with the next one. So our next project will be in this one. So our next, yes, any someone told something? Hello, anyone wants to share something?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
So let's go with the second application. Yeah, so that we are going to do a similar way as we have predicted the cardiac disease. We are going to predict the diabetes, whether we have a diabetes or not. So for diabetes also we'll have the similar parameters and all. We'll see what are the parameters. So let me explain that what will be the workflow. Workflow will be mostly similar to the next one. Only the model, whatever we are going to use, is different. Let me see what we are going to do. We are going to have some diabetes data that I'm going to download it from Kaggle. You can download it from Kaggle, or else I have given you the data set in the Google Drive, shared drive. You can use that one as well. I'll show you how to download also. So this is a diabetes data, which will be in a CSV file, a comma separated file that we can't use directly for the machine learning application. So you have to use a pandas, numpy, and all those stuff, and you have to do something called the data pre-processing. In the data pre-processing, we're going to check that we're going to have some missing values or not, or there is some class imbalance problem or not. And also here we're going to do one data pre-processing work that is called feature scaling. Now, what is our feature scaling? How to do it? I'll explain. Okay. So remember, in the last one, we did not do much with the pre-processing. We just checked, but we did not modify the data much. Here we are going to modify the data. Okay, that is how we want you to go ahead with the step-by-step building the complexity of the project. Okay. So followed by, once you are done with data pre-processing, you are going to divide. We are going to do same way, similar way. We are going to divide the data in two parts. That is my training and the testing data. Training data will be 80%, and the testing data will be your 20%. Followed by, you're going to use. Last time we have used logistic regression model. Correct. Now here we are going to use a support vector machine classifier. Support vector machine classifier. Now let me just show you how this support vector machine classifier works. So this is how the SVM, or in short it's called SVM, or the support vector machine works. So it says it is applicable for the classification scenario where you have, so this is one group of data, whichever you are seeing in the green color, and another group of data is highlighted in the blue color. So this is the two classes of data I have. Okay, so what it does, it draws a hyperplane, it draws a line in between those. Okay, and it tries to maximize the margin between, or margin or gap, I should say. It tries to maximize a gap between these two classes. Okay, and that how much far this hyperplane is, how much far this gap is, that is the better the classification accuracy. Okay, so this is how this, as you have seen, this is the logistic regression, which will give you a S kind of a curve for the binary classification. It will build a hyperplane. It will build a plane in between, a divider in between, so that you can have the classification. So you may ask me that when to use this SVM and when to use a logistic regression. See, there are many more ways to say it, because this itself, if you have to cover the SVM, and in that case it will take one complete day to describe what is SVM. I hope all of you have some idea about what is SVM. So in short, if I have to say, if you have a very simple data, I mean in the say 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, some numerical data here you have the binary classification, you can go ahead with the logistic regression. This support vector machine also, obviously it works with the simpler data, but it works with the other image analysis as well. If you have an image kind of a data that you want to classify, that you want to segment in 2 parts or something like that you want to do with image analysis, that time also this SVM will be applicable. Okay, but it is, of course, it is applicable to the simpler scenario with the simple data set also. Okay, right now let me execute it with the SVM. So after you have done the test training and the testing data split, I'm going to build a SVM classifier, SVM model, and then what I should do, as we have done in the last time also, we are going to check the accuracy in both the training data set and in the testing data set, followed by I'm going to feed a new data. Okay, a new comma separated value, a new data I'm going to feed into it, and I'm going to check that whether this person is diabetic or non-diabetic, and I'm going to check it whether it is correct or not. Okay, fine. Now let me check it off. Let me start the execution. So for that, I hope all of you are already done it. Let me reconnect it. So all of you, please open the collab sheet of diabetes prediction. And I hope you have downloaded the data set diabetes.csv. Please download the data set diabetes.csv. Request you to please download this dataset called this diabetes.csv, and please don't modify anything in the shared sheet. Please go to file and save a copy in your local drive. Okay, request you please don't modify the original sheet. So save a copy in your drive, and so what you should do, if you remember, first thing you have to import the libraries. So, okay, by the way, let me wait for 1 minute. All of you are done downloading the dataset? Downloading the dataset, and you could open the shared collab worksheet. Is it opening for everyone? Anyone wants me to wait? It is not opening, or should I reshare? Okay, fine. There is no issue. Let me start off. So first thing what you should do, you should start off importing the dependencies as before. We are supposed to import the numpy as MP and the pandas as PD. That we have just now we have discussed the same thing before. And then here extra thing I'm going to import, one is called the standard scaler from the pre-processing, from sklearn.preprocessing. I'm going to import standard scaler that we have not done in the last project. Okay, the standard scaler is going to be useful for the feature scaling. We'll explain. I'll go ahead and show you the data set and explain that what is feature scaling and why it is needed. Okay, this extra thing that I'm going to import. All the other things are same as before, that you're going to import the train test split, which will be useful for splitting the data set in 2 parts. Before last time we have imported the model of logistic regression. Now we are going to import the SVM, or SVM full form is support vector machine. And to check the performance of SVM model, I'm going to import the accuracy score. Okay, so this is what is your import. Let me execute this. Yes, it is done. So followed by, then what you should do, you should upload your data to the Colab environment. Click on these files. Here I have already uploaded this file. You please do it for this. Please right click on here and go to upload and choose the CSV diabetes.csv and upload it. By the way, how you can get this diabetes.csv, I'll show you that one as well. You search in Google as diabetes dataset Kaggle. Okay, and the first link will come as PIMA Indians diabetes dataset. First link that will show you as PIMA Indians diabetes dataset. If you open this, so it will show you how many columns I have. It will tell you you have 9 columns, and the 9 columns, let me read the names. One is a pregnancy, whether they are pregnant or not, or how many times pregnant, and then glucose level, blood pressure, skin thickness, followed by insulin level, body mass index, the BMI, then the other values are there. Age is there, and followed by the last one, that is my target variable, or here it is named as outcome, which is either 0 or 1. This 1 means that he or she has diabetes, 0 means he or she doesn't have diabetes. Okay, so last one is what I want to predict, on which I want to build a model, and I want to predict whether it is 0 or not. Okay, so please, all of you can just take your time to open this Kaggle dataset and check it out, that you can understand the dataset or not. And if you want, you can download it from here in this link directly, or else you can use the dataset that I have given. Same thing. Okay, so after you have downloaded the dataset, please take your time to upload the dataset in the Colab environment. Right click on this file site, click on upload, and you can upload this CSV dataset. Okay. Check the chat section. Okay, so now after you are done importing the library and uploading the data file in your Colab environment, what you are supposed to do, you can first thing that if you remember the last time whatever you have done, first thing you have to load it as a pandas data frame. Correct, because you can't use the CSV file directly for your machine learning application. So it is same as pd.read CSV, and you are reading the diabetes file. Okay, let me execute it. So it is showing you as a green symbol, means it is executed. And now what you can do, if you are not sure about any particular function, that what is the use of that particular function, you can execute this PD, that is my panel short form, pd.read CSV, or whichever function you have a doubt, followed by a question mark. Let me execute this, and how, let me see what it shows. See, it is showing you, it is opening the help menu, and it is showing you all the description about the read CSV. So remember, this pandas, this help is very much user friendly. Once you are not sure that, because the code is already given to you, you afterwards you may not be sure that why this particular function is used. Anytime you can execute it, you can type the function name and followed by a question mark. It will open the help menu for that, and it will give you all the parameter description, and also that you are very sure that why to use that particular function. Okay, it's just for showing you that how to open the help menu. Now I want to have a look at the data set. What I have to do, as you can execute the function head, you can execute the function tell also. So let me execute the function head, which will print the first 5 values of the data, first 5 rows of the data. So this is my first 5 rows. Okay, and you can see this outcome variable is what I am interested in ultimately to predict whether it is 0 or 1, where 0 says that we don't have, that particular patient doesn't have a heart diabetes, and 1 says that he or she has a diabetes. So this is just for a checking of your what is there in the values. But if you see here, so if you see here, all this, what are the columns, or what are the features I have? Pregnancy, glucose, blood sugar, skin thickness, insulin, BMI, diabetes pedigree, and all, right? But can you see in this, all these features, values are not in the same range. This pregnancy, this value is within 1 to 8, whereas glucose is in the range of 140 to something, and this blood pressure is below 100, skin thickness is in completely different region. So can you see this, all the features that I'll be using as my input data are not in the same range. Okay, so if in remember, when you have any input data, all the columns are not in the same range, or values in all the columns are not in the same range. We have to do something called scaling, and this step is called feature scaling. And for this feature scaling, we have imported that library function scaling. We will see it how to do it. So first, just remember, once you see this data, you should see that whether all of them are in the same range or not. By the way, you can tell me, you have the statistical function also describe, which will give you the min max, which will give you much more idea that what is the minimum value, maximum value, and whether you need a scaling or not. We'll come to that. So right now I have seen that my data, and I have an idea that how my data looks like, and so you can execute the function shape. This output will tell you that how many rows and how many columns I have. So it is telling you that I have the data record of 768 patients, 768 patient rows I have, and for each and every patient data I have recorded the 9 attribute values. Okay, among the 9 attribute values, the last one is my outcome variable, which will be either 0 or 1. Okay, now if you want to know the statistical information about that the data set, let me execute command describe. Let me see, it will take time because it's a data of 768 size. Once you have the large data set of thousands or lakhs of rows, it will come 6 months. It's taking some time to execute. Yeah, now it's done. So you can see it is telling you the in the first value, it is showing you as count, that how many number of values you have. Then it is showing you the mean, minimum value, maximum value, mean value, standard deviation, and this 25th quartile and the 50th quartile and the 75th quartile values. So if you see here this data, this glucose level has mean value as 120, whereas the blood pressure level has a mean value as 69. So you can see that all the value ranges are completely different. Correct. So if you have this kind of situation where all the value levels are totally different, okay, in that case you need to do feature scaling so that all of them are in the same range, so that you can have a good accuracy of the prediction. So what to do now? So for all of you, I'd request everyone to complete up to this described state, so that we can go ahead and do the others. Please please upload the diabetes data, and you just do up to this describe one, see that whether it is working or not, and then followed by I'll go ahead and do the others. Please finish up to this describe data. Please take your time to do up to this describe and check the statistical measure. Are you getting the situation where all the features are not in the same range? I've opened the chat section. If the flow is not clear, any issues, please message here. I'll wait for 2 minutes. If there's any issues, please let me know. Or is it working also? Please let me know as done, so that I have some input. Please be interactive so that I get to know. Wait for 1 minute more. Everyone should finish this step. I hope this much is done. So now, so after you have seen the statistical information, let me execute the value count functions on the attribute named outcome, which will give you, which will help you to check whether you have a class imbalance or not. So where two classes data I have, where 0 is my non-diabetic and 1 is my diabetic patient issue. Let me execute it. So if I execute it, it is showing you that one is, I mean, you have the data set with the diabetes patient, diabetic patient data, you have 268 patients, and the non-diabetic patient data, you have 500. Okay, so you can see there is some differences there. Okay, they're not very close to each other like you have seen in the previous one, that is a cardiac one. Okay, so this will give you the idea of the how much class distribution is there. Now let me execute on the outcome. So right now I have executed on the outcome. Outcome I have executed the count function. Okay, and I know that whether the class imbalance issue is there or not. Now what you can do, I'm executing a function, group by function on the outcome, and let me see what I am going to get it here. So I have just giving a group by on the outcome. I mean, it will say you for the when the outcome is 0, I mean for the non-diabetic patient, what is the mean value of all the field? 1 means the diabetic patient. For the diabetic patient, what is the mean value for all the field? So if you see and try to analyze for all the field, you will get some meaningful information. If you see the glucose level, correct? So it will show you for 0, which is a non-diabetic patient, the glucose level is 109. Whereas for the diabetic patients, the glucose level is 141. So you can see the glucose level is, yes, of course, our intuition also says that the glucose level will be higher for the diabetic patient, and also the BP is also slightly higher in the range of higher side for the diabetic patient than the non-diabetic ones. So it will give you for the insulin value also, see, you can see there is a change. So it will give you some idea, consolidated view for the diabetic patients over the non-diabetic ones. Okay, so this will give you suppose some idea. This is called exploratory data analysis. Before you actually apply your machine learning model, you see the data and try to understand what you have the data, so that you can do the proper feature scaling and fit the proper data so that you can get the proper accuracy. Now, coming to the model building, what I have to do first, whatever you have done is before, I have to remove the output column. What is my output column here, or the predict, whatever I want to predict? The final column, if you see, I'll go up. The final column is my outcome. So what I have to do, I have to remove this particular column, right? Last time also we did the same thing. So let me go ahead and check it here. So yeah, so I'm dropping the last column, that is outcome. Y-axis equal to 1. I told you last time also, if the axis equal to 0, 0 means I want to remove a row. If you want to remove a column, then axis value should be equal to 1. Right now you want to remove the outcome column, so axis equal to 1. So X will hold this X, whatever this first line, this X will hold the data of the input variable, all the 8 input variables. Outcome, that is my output variable, will going to the data frame, that is Y. So let me execute this one and print X and Y. We print X. Yeah, can you see it is giving you all the values from the pregnancy to BMI and age and all the things that it is giving you, but it is not giving you the outcome value. Outcome, it has gone to the Y data frame. Let me print Y. Y is giving you a series of 0 and 1. Okay, corresponding values of the input. Now, as I said, first now we have, what is the issue we have noticed in the data? We have seen that the data values has to be standardized. I mean, all the columns should have the value in the same range. So for that, some scaling I have to do. For the scaling, what you have to do, you have to use a function that is called standard scaler. This function, this library we have imported in the import section also. So first load the scaler, and then apply the scalar on the X, and also do the scalar dot transformation. Okay, after I have done the scalar dot transformation, let me print the standardized data. So what was X before? Just see it again. My X before, is this is the data I had where the pregnancy is in the range of 6, 1, 2, 10, all those. Glucose level is in the range of 148, 100 plus something. BP level is something in the 100, less than 100. Now let me see, once I apply the scaling or standard scaler on this data set, how this value changes. I already applied the scaling. Now let me print the scalar.transform on X I have applied. Let me print the standardized data. Yeah, so can you see now all the data, all the features are in the same range. This is the first attribute. This one is the second attribute. Now can you see all of them are in the range of 0 to 1, or not even 0 to minus values are also there, but all of them are in the same range. Okay, this range, what will the final range, that will be automatically calculated depending on what data you have given to it. Okay, so this is your standardized data. Now what I have to do, now you have to execute it. So now instead of, you have to use this standardized data for your input, and outcome will be your output. Remember this, for the y I do not need to do any kind of standardization, because y is anyway a series of 0 and 1. You do not have to do any kind of scaling on it. So now I have to do my analysis on the standardized x and the y. Okay, so let me just have a look at it, x and y. Let me print it. So sorry, I forgot to execute it. So that's what is giving you wrong result. Now let me execute it. Yeah, so now x is in the, all the x values are in the same range, and y is there in the range of 0 and 1. So now what you have to do, you have to change, like we have done it in the previous ones. You have to divide the data in two parts, that is my training and testing data set. And here also I have used the test size as 0.2, that is my 20% of the data. So once I execute it, I'm going to divide it. So let me print it, the x shape. So it is showing you, if you see that initially in the X, that is the input data set, I had 768 rows. Now I have divided it in two parts. So 614, that is my 80% of the data has gone for training, and 154 data will be used for my testing. Okay, now what I have to do, now I have to build my model as a classifier. Previous time we have used a logistic regression. Now I'm going to use a SVM. For SVM, you have to use a parameter kernel equal to linear. Okay, so I'm just loading the classifier. So this will load the classifier, and now I have this classifier is loaded or initialized as SVM. Now this classifier should be fitted to my training dataset. So for training dataset means X train and the Y train, where X train will be your input data and Y train has the actual values of the output. Let me execute this one. Yes, so it has been executed. So I have to now check the accuracy for this. So for the accuracy, you can check accuracy in two ways. With first one, you can check it in the training data set, followed by you can check it in the testing data set. So let me check it in the training data set. In the similar way, in the last time also how we have done it, for each and every value in the X train, I am checking that what is my predicted value. Okay, so X train is your input data. It has the 8 columns input data, and for that this X trend prediction will be either 0 and 1. This is the output of your created model. Now this may not match with the true value. Where I have the true value is there in the Y trend. So now I have to check it that whether this X trend prediction, whether your predicted value and the original value, they're matching with each other, and with that we have to calculate the accuracy score. Correct. So let me execute it. Let me try to print it. So right now my accuracy is showing as 78%. So it is showing you on the training data with SVM, you will have an accuracy of 78%. Similarly, you can try validate your model for the accuracy on the testing data. So instead of X trend, right now I'm going to use X test, and you are trying to predict, this will have your predicted value. This X test prediction will have your predicted value, and here you are trying to match and check it your accuracy score. Let me execute it, and here I'm trying to print it. So this is where I have printed it, and it is showing you the accuracy accuracy score for the testing data is 77%. So it is also quite intuitive. For the training data, which is known, I'm getting the higher accuracy, that is 78%. But for any unknown data that has not been shown to the model, it will be able to correctly classify the diabetic or non-diabetic patient with a 77% of accuracy. So with this, the model building and validity is done. We have to build a predictive system that I'll show you. But before that, I'd request everyone to finish up to this. I'll go to the chat section. Okay, can you repeat reshaping? Sorry, I did not, extremely sorry. I did not see the message. Okay, one second. Downloaded is done. Okay, let me just give all the answer. Extremely sorry, I did not see some previous message. So reshaping. Okay, reshaping, I'll say path given correctly. Yes, path given correctly, sir. Sir, path given correctly, I think. Okay, I'll wait for everyone. No problem. Path given correctly because okay, by the time I'll just explain the reshaping, I'll wait for 7 minutes. Everyone finish all the things and ask me whatever doubt. Please let me know if I'm going too fast. Your feedback will be important if I need to slow down or if I have to fast. Okay, I'll wait for some time. So I'll do one thing. By the time I got one, the reshaping, right? Yeah. So reshaping, we did it in the, okay, sir, we did it in the last code. That code I've, just one second. I'll just explain it here again, sir. Yeah, I'll explain with respect to this code, sir. So someone wanted to just slow down. Okay, fine. I'll slowly explain. No problem. So anyone want this the reshaping? I'll explain right now. No problem, because it is there in this code also. Anyone wants me to repeat any portion? Because still we have 15 minutes. Anyone wants me to repeat any portion apart from the reshaping one? Someone has told me about Ramapu said the path is correct, sir. Path allocation. Can I explain what is about the allocation? Path means a Google Drive path. Sir, Google Drive path is no. Then what path? You can unmute and say, sir. Data set from computer. Yes, sure, sir. I'll explain how to import the data set, what you should do. That's what I'm stopping in between and I'm asking whether you people are done or not. What you should do. See, initially this will not be there. Okay, this data set will not be there. What you can do, you download this data. Already this data has been given here in the shared folder. I have given this to data. You can download it from here or you can use from the directly download from Kaggle. It is the same thing. Okay, you download the data set and then you go to your, just one minute. You go to a project window, click on this files. All of you can see there is a folder symbol here at the left hand side. So you click on this folders, click here and then click on upload, and then please navigate wherever you have your data set. Right now I have this data set in my desktop. So if I want to upload one more data set, say breast cancer.csv, this I'll show you tomorrow anyway. This breast cancer.csv. So let me just upload this one. So it is uploading now. So you can see it right now, it has uploaded the breast cancer.csv. Right now I'm not going to use it, but nothing wrong if I upload it also. Okay. So after you have uploaded, if you do not need anything, you can just delete as well. So right now I don't need for this breast cancer data set. I'm just removing it. This is how you should download and upload it. Okay, instead of right click and clicking on upload, you can directly click on this upload file symbol also, and you can choose whichever data set you want to upload here. Okay, so let me see again the chat section. It's over. So is it done? So Kusuma, Ramabu Kusuma, is it understandable? Did I answer your question? So I'll wait up to 3:50. What is the time? 3:50 only. I'll wait for 2 more minutes. Anyone wants me to wait, please let me know. Maybe I'll wait for 2-3 minutes more. People, please be promptly you answer. Just if it is done, you let me know it's done, or let me wait, then I'll wait. Otherwise, because if no one is replying, then I'll understand everything is working out, then I'll move on. I'll wait for 2 minutes. Path is working correctly for Kusuma. You've messaged a couple of times that the file path was not working for you. Is it working now? Can you upload the data set now? Please respond yes. Yes, fine. Anyone else struggling with any step or not understanding why I did that one? Let me just wrap before the prediction. Just let me wrap it off what I did as of now. By the time you can have your time to execute it finally, I'll just again show you what we did from the beginning as a summary. Let me go up. For the beginning, I'm just showing you again. Initially, we have just please listen to me. Error. Scalar equal to standard scalar is giving you error. You have imported the library. You do the Kusuma. You please try to execute this step again. Just execute this step again. If you're importing the, sorry, I have moved. So not this. Just 1 minute. Yeah, let me go ahead. You please try checking the import. Try checking the import. If you have imported this file standard scalar, it should be working fine. Can you please respond that whether it is working fine or not after you have imported? Okay, now it's working fine. I'll see if there is any more question, and I'll repeat, and then standard scalar I should explain. Not standard scalar, reshaping. working, but at standard it's coming error. You may try executing all the steps again. That's what I can suggest. Because we are all of us, we are executing it in collab, so which will not have any machine dependency, right? So if it is working here, it will work in anywhere. So you do one thing, you please from the beginning, the first step onwards, you just freshly you start executing all the steps. It should work. So what we did, I'll just explain and then go to the last step. So as of now, here we have imported all the required library. NumPy was useful for our array allocation. Pandas was useful for our data frame. Here we have used the standard scaler because we have seen that all the columns values are not in the same range. So to bring all the column values in the same range, we have used this standard scalar function, followed by we have executed this model selection, and we have imported the particular function, that is my trend test split. For the classification, we have used the SVM, that is my support vector machine, and to check the accuracy, we have executed the accuracy score. We have downloaded the dataset diabetes.csv, and with this code, we have loaded that diabetes data CSV in our pandas data frame. Head and tail functions were used to print the dataset first 5 and the last 5 rows, so that you can have an idea about what is there in the dataset. And we have seen that there are totally 9 columns are there, where the initial first 8 columns are my input values, and the last one is my outcome, which is the last value 0 or 1. Okay, and followed by we have checked out the shape function. The shape function will shape will give you the what is the number of rows we have. So it says that I have the totally 768 data rows, where each and every row has a 9 columns. Followed by we have executed the describe function, which will give you the statistical information about all the data values. Followed by we have checked for whether we have a class imbalance. So right now we have checked out of the 768 total values, the non-diabetic patient data is of 500 times, and a diabetic patient data I have of 268 times. Then we have used a group by function, and we have checked the group by average. So we have seen the diabetes, the mean value of all the attribute for the diabetic patient and the non-diabetic patient, which is useful to give me some useful information. And we have seen that the glucose value is lesser in case of non-diabetic patient, and the glucose value is higher in case of diabetic patient, which is quite intuitive. But you can look at all the other attribute and check out that whether any other meaningful information you can get it or not. Okay, followed by for the building the model, first step what I have to do, I have to remove drop the column, that is my outcome. And after the dropping the column, we have done here the feature scaling. For the feature scaling, or the standard scaling I should say, for the standard scaling we have loaded the function standard scaler. This is standard scaler you should use, followed by scalar.fit x, followed by transform. So it will transform that data set. Okay, so this is my standardized data. In the standardized data, if you print, it will give you all the 8 input data in the same range. So now you have built the model with the standardized data and the outcome, and here you have checked it. Here you have trained the model with your SVM and check the accuracy for your training data and also for your testing data. And as per the output, you should be able to get for the training data, it is showing you 78%. For the testing data, it is showing you, I think it was coming as 70. Yeah, it was coming as 77%. Okay, now coming to, so this is how you have built the system. Okay, now let me show you how you can predict. So for the prediction, what I have to do, as we have done in the last time also, here I'm not copying pasting again. So here I've already copied pasted a row. Okay, so here I have copied pasted the 8 values, that is my input values, so the 8 comma separated value. Okay, now so this is a CSV file. As we said, the CSV comma separated values you can't directly use for the machine learning application. What you have to do, you have to change this data to a NumPy array. So for that you have to execute this function np is my NumPy dot as array, NumPy dot as array followed by input data. So what it will do, this comma separated values, it will convert it as a data frame. Now Once we have the data frame, it is a 1D dimensional. It is a only one data frame. Now, so why we are doing this reshaping the array? So initially you have done the modeling with 760 data, in which you had the training data set of, I guess, a 500, or the what was the training X shape? Once again, let me see the size. Yes, 666. The X trend shape was of 614. Okay, and the prediction you have test for the prediction you have used the 154. So right now we don't need that many data shape. So what you have to, you don't need that many data values. Now you have only one data array, only one is your input array. For that you wanted to predict the output. So now you have to say your array to be shaped for only one. So that is why it is shaped. The second parameter you can forget about it, not required, you can keep it as -1. The first one will say you that your model should work for only one data row. This is only one data row, it will work. Okay, so this will work for only one data row, followed by you are doing the so this is the reshaping is done. Here one more step is that we have not done in the previous time. Here we have to do the standard scaling, correct? Here for the doing the modeling also we have done, right? So the scalar dot transform. So what it will do, it will print you the data. It will give you the data where all the columns are at the same range. Okay, so I'm repeating up to this step again if it is getting confusing. First you have to take, first we have taken the 8 input values. CSV format. CSV format can't be fed in the machine learning model. You are converting it in an array. Now you are telling, now your model should work for only one. Initially your shape function was giving you 614 and all those. Now I don't have that many data. I wanted to work for only one data row. That is why I'm reshaping it for one. Okay, followed by, now if you see this data also, you can see the different values are there in different range. One is 5, one is 166, one is 76. Two different things are there in different range. You can't use that data, you have to do a scalar dot transform. Okay, we have done the transformation, because if you see here in the modeling time also we have done this rescaling, correct? The scalar was applied. Now the same scalar we have applied. See here, the scalar I have not imported again. The same scalar that I have used for modeling, the same scalar I have used to transform this data row. The same scalar. So same data scalar will be used to give you all the data row in the standardized format. I mean, where all the data column values are in the same range. Followed by you have used the classifier.predict, and let me see what is the prediction is coming. And I have given a clause that if the prediction is 0, then predict that the person is non-diabetic. If the prediction is 1, predict as diabetic. Let me execute this and show you how the output looks. Yes. So first row, what it is showing you, it is showing you that this is your standardized data you have, followed by it is predicting as 1. So it means that I have the person is diabetic. If you see here, the last output is the person is diabetic. So if you can try opening this, let me try opening this. So you people can try doing this one. I'll just show you this row where it is this 5166, and I'll show you whether it is 1 or not. So right now your model is building as 1. Let me show you that this row whether it has 1 or not. So my row value is 5 168 77. So let me open this diabetes data set. 1 second, give me 1 minute. So let me open this diabetes.csv. Yeah, so you have, which value I want? 5 166, right? It should be here. Just give me 1 second. Let me verify it is working correctly or not. Yeah, I think this is the 16th row we have copied. So this is a 5 166 72 19. This is a value, and ultimately your outcome is 1. Can you see the last value? It is 1. Ultimately it is showing original data set said that this person has a diabetes issue. So now with your machine learning coding also, your prediction is saying you this person has a diabetes issue, because you have at the end it has predicted as the person has diabetes. So it means that your model is working correctly. So this is all about it from my side for today. Let me check. Anything else? Anything else?
Ma'am, we got some few questions from you through WhatsApp.
Great. Tell me, please.
What is clustering in machine learning?
Yes.
And one more question is difference between logistic regression versus linear regression.
Great. So I don't have the slides for it maybe. So right now, so okay, so I'll do one thing. I don't have the slides for it, so I'll just show you the first question. What what is clustering, correct? Clustering or classification, sir?
Clustering, ma'am.
Clustering. Okay, great. So okay. So I'll do one thing because I don't have the slides prepared for it. I'll just show you one image and I try to explain. So this is something is called, let me open an image. I hope the screen is visible to you. Oh, let me
Yes,
open
ma'am.
this. This download is so small otherwise. One second. I'll try to show you some other code for clustering tomorrow. Okay, in that case. Oh my god, it's so small. Just give you 1 second. If I have some slides, because some more clustering do I have? I think I have some other. This is the one. Just give me something. It is better if I show with some diagram. Just 1 second. Just show if I have any slides with it, otherwise just see. Yeah. So it was some other PPT that we have used for some other thing. Just because there was some question, let me answer it. So clustering is this one. I mean, is my slide visible, sir? Slide is visible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
It's
yes,
visible.
yes. So, so this is what is called a clustering. So, by the way, this machine learning overall, you can classify it in two ways. One is called the supervised learning, and another is called the unsupervised learning. Okay, so supervised learning means you will have some input output kind of a data set. So I mean, whatever data set I have shown you right now, one data set was of diabetes and the data set was of heart disease. So it was a combination of your input along with the output. So that is called a supervised learning. Okay, in which the training data set, you have a training data set, you know, this is for this this should be the output, trying to build a model to predict it for the unknown. That is my sort of input output both. And whatever classification you have shown, I have shown you in the last 2 hours, that is my classification of supervised type. Now clustering is another category that is called unsupervised algorithm. What is unsupervised algorithm? It says that you don't have any input output pair. Okay, you have a data, just that you don't have a input or output pair. You have a data, and with the data set you try to build some cluster or you try to build some group. And the classic example for this is called the k-means clustering. Okay, so this example, it says that you have a data of customers. Sorry, I don't have any slide for this prepared for the medical application. This slide I have done or showed it for some completely other application. Just because there is a question on clustering, I'm answering it. So this was the data set of the customers, and you have the data set with the annual income pattern and the spending course and the spending scores. Okay, so this is the cluster of customers. So here, if you plot it in the y-axis, you are seeing the spending score, and here you are seeing the annual income. Okay, so basically it says that, so this is a particular portion, this higher one, whichever I'm highlighting, this is a portion where the people has more income, also they are prone to spend more. I'm repeating. So if you see this, so how to do this clustering, I'm not showing it right now. The K-means clustering is a completely different algorithm. You can search in the internet for the K-means clustering. What it does for all the data point, it computes something called a centroid. Okay, it computes a centroid and maps each and every data point to the closest centroid. In short, I can say you that one. Okay, it maps to the closest centroids and give you the clusters like this. Okay, so as of now for this data set, I have got 5 clusters. Sorry, I've got 5 clusters. So what is my implication out of this clustering, if you ask me? So if you see this pink cluster, this is a people who has very high income, correct? But they spend very less. They don't spend at all. This is a set of people who has less income, but they spend a lot. But this is a set of people who are both way good. I mean, their income is also high and they try to spend more also. So this example will be very useful for the marketing people. We get so many calls from here and there, right? Will you buy this? We have this offer and all. So this is that those marketing people can't call every person. So out of all the customers, they'll be segmenting it. So a particular cluster of customer they'll be calling, and that is this particular set of cluster of customers who will have higher income pattern. Also they spend more, so they are my probable next customer, so I'll be calling them. So clustering is a kind of algorithm which is my unsupervised algorithm, where you don't have any input output pair. You just have the data, and only seeing the data by applying the algorithm, you try to do some grouping and you find out which one is your interested group. So that is what is about clustering, and whatever I have shown you now, that is completely about classification, which is a supervised algorithm. That is my both input and output pair. So does it answer the question about whoever has asked? You can just respond. Does it answer your question on clustering? What was the next question, sir?
Ma'am, difference between logistic regression versus linear regression.
Okay, fine. So basically logistic regression and the linear regression, I'll just do one thing. I'll just show you a graph. Basically logistic regression gives you a S kind of graph, and linear regression gives you a straight graph. I'll just go to Google image and show you. One second. So I think this graph should be able to make you understand this one. So this linear regression divides it as a straight line. Okay, so this is your, if you want to so linear, by the way, just for your clarification, as of now, whichever we have used is for classification. There is a difference between classification and the regression. Supervised learning has 2 parts. One is the classification and the regression. Whichever examples we have taken now, that comes under classification. Another thing is a regression. And this linear regression and logistic regression, linear regression basically gives you a straight line, whereas the logistic regression gives you a S kind of a line. So maybe I'll do one thing. If there is a doubt about the fundamentals of machine learning, I'll do one thing. Anyway, I have sessions tomorrow. I'll start tomorrow for 5-10 minutes with what is machine learning basically, and what are the 2 parts of machine learning, about like what is supervised learning, what is unsupervised learning, and under the supervised learning, what is the regression, what is classification, and under unsupervised learning, what comes followed by the medical application. So in that case, I hope it will be, I'll prepare some slides on it, so it will be easier for me to explain, because otherwise it should not get confusing, because this regression as of now I have not covered at all. Whatever application we have seen, that is about the that comes under supervised learning, but that is a classification. That's what we are doing. We are trying to classify whether they have a heart disease or not. We have not done anything with the regression at all. So but the two questions I have got, one is on clustering, another is on regression. I love to answer all those, but I'll do it tomorrow morning with a proper slide that will clarify better, I feel. So I hope that's fine for everyone. So okay, Ritvika Majumdar has said, ma'am, please give me 2 minutes. So Ritvika, is it done? Anything I should do? Anything I should explain again? Any other questions, sir, in the WhatsApp or any chat section or anything? Any other feedback you people have, so that, because I'll be continuing with you for the next 3 days. We have a lot of hands-on session. So if you have some inputs, I'll love to.
Somebody is asking any alternative for Google Colab.
There are many, sir. I mean, if you see Google Colab will be easier because it's in a online. If you want to do, you can download and you can have a lot of ideas to work with it. There is a lot of there. You can use a lot of machine learning ideas that are available. You can use that. Anything else?
No, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Respected madam, from Electronics Communication Engineering Research Center, on behalf of our Bangalore Institute of Technology, I extend the vote of thanks to our esteemed speaker, Professor Antara Roy Chowdhury, who spent her time and with the busiest schedule to grace the occasion. Today, we had an opportunity to hear your thoughts, and this will surely be going to encourage us in our future events. Thank you, madam.
Thank you all. Thank you all for joining.
Thank you, ma'am.